Hey, what is up guys? It is Geek on a Mission back with another deep analysis on an extended Coco trailer today. So, this is a 3.5 or basically 4-minute trailer that I will be reacting to. I will skip most of the Coco stuff that we saw on the trailer 2 days ago, or whenever I'm recording this and you're seeing it. But just to quickly get out of the way, the new stuff. Basically, we get to see that the music right here, him remembering, and he's finally fading. So we get to see a little bit more of the scene, and then we get to see more of the scene afterwards, saying, "Don't cheer up, man, cheer up." All right. So we get to see the Masters in the Dandelion field again. This is a callback to Kingdom Hearts Kingdom Hearts back cover, when we get to see him in the same field. So it's nice. And then we switch to a scene of a dandelion flying off in the air, and then we also see Sora right here. Now, this looks like a CGI cutscene, a pre-rendered CGI cutscene. And what's interesting about it is that we see also dandelions flying down at the stop right here. So it's nice. And then we get a beautiful outlook on Quadratum itself. Strelitzia says this is Quadratum. To me, this looks more like another CGI cutscene. It does not look like it's in game, in engine, but if it is, that's beautiful. So moving on. So they're talking about. Let me just play it a little bit.
They're asking for dandelion dispatch.
So they're asking about dispatch. So this makes me think that the group is Sora, Strelitzia, Vali, Sigurd, and others that we don't know about yet. So it's really cool to see that they are working together and stuff. So we have two phones. We see Sora's phone right here, which is amazing. And if they do come out with that, I'm definitely getting that for my phone. So it looks like too. So we see the camera with the Mickey on it, and then we also get to see there's a chain on it, which to me, kind of looking at this trailer over and over again, it kind of looks like Jiminy Cricket. So it's a really cool nod, if it is Jiminy Cricket, to Sora remembering Jiminy Cricket. So they are getting called that they need to help somebody because of the dark side's coming. In this scene, we see them both looking up and seeing the floating ships. So to me, this looks more like a thing in Final Fantasy 15 or in Versus that Noctis was using to get help with. And then we get to see a dark side appear, and it looks like he is either breaking. It looks like this is a force field supposed to hold the dark side together, or at least to hold him back, but it looks like he just straight breaks it. And then we get to see the dark side attack with his spicy meatballs, dark meatballs, and it looks like they are causing tremendous damage to everything. All the citizens are panicking, they're running away, and then we get to see a bus falling, and we actually see Sora, the superhero, save a cat and a woman in the most superhero way possible. Then we get to see some Heartless show up, and they look like they spawn in just scarier, honestly. And we get to see 3 of them spawn in. They look a lot more humanoid than they ever have. And then we get to see a close-up of Sora, still with his earpiece in and everything. We talked about that earlier. that we noticed. And then we get to see him and Volley attack together. So it does look like Volley has the starlight of the Dark Road era, which is nice to see. His outfit looks different, but sick as heck. And then we get to see this scene again, which we saw earlier, which is nice because it just looks so beautiful. This game is going to be huge, I'm guessing, because we haven't even got into the meat of this trailer yet. So we already seen this scene the other time, but it is still a great Keyblade. And then this is different. This is an extended version. So we get to see this boss fight. We get to see the Keyblade, him riding on the Keyblade, and it's chained up to the boss. We get to see Sora get to dodge fireballs that the Heartless is making by moving. And then we get a button prompt over here. It's probably to jump to it, obviously. So he gets to jump on the rails. He can probably choose not to and keep on the regular track. But this looks like it's a way to get up near him and to attack. As I talked about the last time, the mini-map looks like this world is going to be huge. He does his basic thing and his slam down. Right here we get to see more of the team attack against Sora and Hector. We get to see the build, the items, magic, etc. And then, let's see. So we get to see them attack. It looks like Sora is shooting the piñata and Hector is making music. Or like, not making music, but like singing and dancing around it. Making a AoE type damage. And it looks like every time you have a button prompt or something, it gets bigger and it attacks more. And then finally, if you get to use the finisher, the piñata, Sora slashes and breaks the piñata, probably sending out a big wave of like damage. So another thing that cool to notice that I talked about a little bit in the previous analysis is that this gauge, we get to see more of it fill up. We don't get to see it actually work. Like, we get to see it build up a little bit. And obviously this is cut because it just goes from a little to a lot now. But what this makes me realize with the gauge is these people watching are actually going to be important. Because we saw in the June trailer that we get to see people actually watch Sora like fight in the battles. So it would be cool if there is some sort of like gauge like this one to fill up and see if you get rewards or if you get prizes, stuff like that if you fill up the gauge. Or if it's like, if you fill up the gauge, the section ends, etc. So it's really nice to see. We get to see more of this, of the Maraca Heartless. He looks really funny. He looks fun to, so, and he smashes, and then we get to see Mickey. So we talked about what he talked about in the last trailer, but then we get to see a book open up. So this is not the Book of Prophecies. It looks very much like the Book of Prophecies, but it's not. The emblem is an hourglass, so this looks like you're traveling in the book and probably learning more about the past, which Mickey is supposed to be doing. So it's nice to see that it's actually happening, and we actually get to like play along with it. So I would have to go back and look at what these say. But he gets sucked up into the book, and we get a playable Mickey section. So, starting off, we got the minimap. His only his command hub, we get to see it. It is different. So it is a It is a Scala library with the lanterns, and his only thing is attack, it looks like. And then we have a reaction command, or a command to say what did it say? Remove pin. Duh. Because he removes the pin. So what this leads me to think is that the Mickey section, there probably will still be stuff to attack. I don't know if it's Heartless or what, but he will be attacking something because he does have attack command. It could be like, but I feel like this is going to be more puzzle based in a sense of we don't really get to see him fight. We get to see him do a bunch of puzzles. And then let's see. So we get to see. So as I talked about, Mickey has these paper clones that these are 2D, and then the box Mickey that we'll see a little bit later. But it looks like you can control them and send them out to go to different places that Mickey himself can't get to. So it's nice. So you do see that these guys don't attack. They are just jumping and doing basic basic running. But you can also see that you can control it, and then you can summon it back to Mickey if you get like. So it looks like he's running around, and what Nomura said at the D23 panel is that you can actually turn into an airplane with this guy. So it's nice. So in here we got to see the box Mickey destroying stuff. He is huge compared to the actual Mickey who's right here. And then we get to see that 3 commands. It's swap, throw, back to Mickey. So the back to Mickey is probably just breaking this down and going back to Mickey in general. The throw is interesting. I don't know if he's like throwing stuff like boxes and stuff, or if he's gonna throw Mickey. But you do see that the swap command. So it looks like you can swap in between these without breaking it, or like without fully returning to Mickey. It looks like, and so this guy is massive. He can just break stuff, like break big boxes. And at the time, at this, we see Mickey has to collect 0 out of 5 books right here, and then on this section he's still 0 out of 5, but on this section it's 0 out of 3. So it makes me think that these are 2 completely different things. So also looking at the mini map, there is 2 footprints here, which is interesting, because I don't know if those are enemies or if they're just like where you started from. So then we get into one of the last sections is the Donald and Goofy are talking to Hades, talking about if Sora is here. Hades says Sora's not here, but you can probably try to look for him. So this is huge. This is the first time ever that Donald and Goofy are playable, and outside of a mini game or something like that. So they are in the underworld. We get to see the command hub right here, and it says attack and jump and stuff with Donald. It looks like he is riding ice, while Goofy is riding the shield, like he did in Kingdom Hearts 3. So Donald is actually getting a surfing ability, which is nice. So then we get a attack sequence. So up here we get to see wave 1 out of 3 of the Heartless. So I didn't even notice while watching the trailer for the first time, but Hades is up here watching on his throne. So it's nice. So it looks like Donald is being able to use a flare ability, like his flare attacks, to attack. So it looks like it's more of a kind of like the Happily Ever After Keyblade transformation attacks, or double arrow, with the whole like it looks like the animation from Double Arrow, honestly. And so he does a basic attack, and it's a boom, 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 boom. You know, best way I could describe it. So it looks like he can shoot off 6 fireworks, and then shoot off a big star. The big star. So another thing to notice is that going in the icon hub, you can see a switch. So there is a button prompt right here. I'll put it on the screen up here. It is a push ability. So which makes me think that it's more like a Final Fantasy type combat where you can just switch mid-fight to different party members. So also on the other corner, I will put it up here right now, we get to see that there is magic. So you can do attack, magic, items, and combo style. So that's interesting with the combo style as the last one. We don't know what that means in a sense. But it is nice that they got a full hub. Unlike Mickey, say, he only had attack. So Donald and them have attack, have magic, have items, etc. So this is going to probably be a bigger section than we think, honestly. Which is nice. So lock on emblem. So we also get to see that Donald's staff is glowing with a blue, which is nice. And then when he's doing his final or his finisher, it goes red and he smashes it down. That's just awesome. So it looks like it is also an AoE type attack. We don't get to really see it because there's no enemies other than that one. And then we get to see the shadow. So it is nice too that the Shadow Heartless and Heartless are back. Like, we get to see them. So let us slow down. So with Goofy, he looks like he does a slam over the head, a slam up, and then a helicopter type, and then he rides his, like, he does another ground pound to a Goofy twirl. So that is really cool. And then we get to see a team attack with both of them called fusion spin. So it looks like you can, Goofy throws his shield up and then they both ride it, and then this looks awesome. Looks like Donald is doing a bunch of fireworks around, and Goofy's shield is just spinning, causing an AoE attack. Man, it's so cool to see this. But you also have a command that says fusion jump, so I'm guessing it's just a jump like it is in most of the other ones. And then you got a cancel, and then you got the finisher, which it looks like they go in the air. Let's see. They go in the air, and then they slam down, causing a big explosion with a bunch of fireworks coming out, and finishing with the grand style. Look at their poses right there. That's amazing. They are excited that they just killed a bunch of Heartless. Also, we get to see the HP orbs and the mummy. But also, we get to see their heads-up display a bit more. We see that Donald has MP, of course, and everything. Which is... it's interesting to see what the magic for Goofy is, technically. Because he doesn't really do... Oh, it's not even magic. It's skills. I just totally missed that part. So, that makes more sense. Because Goofy doesn't have any magic, obviously. And he uses more of a skill combat, so it is nice that they changed it for him. So he has skills instead of magic, which that's the MP. So this looks like a base combo though, unless they haven't like implemented the skill point yet. But this looks like a basic combo for Goofy. And it's also see that the particle effects too. Like, even Goofy's shield looks like it gets hot and it turns green when he's attacking. So that is very nice to see. So moving on, we get to see, this was in the other trailer, but we get to see like Sora looking at Ghost of Donald and Goofy and then passing out. But then, after he passes out, we get to see something very cool. We get to see Donald and Goofy in the Land of the Dead, which is very interesting. Because we know that they're not, at least at the points that we see, Sora and Donald are not party members with Sora. So this has me thinking of two things. They went here and saying, because Donald says in a second, he says like, oh, we can't find him in there. So what makes me think is that they look at here and says, oh, we can't find him, and then leaves. Or that they do go and look because Hades did give them a tip. So it is nice to see that they are painted up with probably Donald's magic, I'm assuming, and Donald's bow tie and stuff. They're like, the paint on them is so awesome. The hats, the bow ties, the pants, like, it's just amazing to see. It's just amazing. Because this is such a beautiful world. And then we get to see, this looks like an even more polished version of what we saw in June of young Xehanort holding the umbrella over Sora. We don't know if this is the same scene or if this is it's a different scene, but we don't know if this happens like right after young Xehanort gives the umbrella to Sora or before it, or where this happens in the story. But we get to see young Xehanort here, and then we get to see Luciu walking up to him, talking to him, saying, oh, looks like you're doing pretty good for an old fella, basically. So it is so cool to see these two interact again, and I can't wait to see more of this scene in the actual game. So then we get to see 3 dark sides, which I said in my last trailer, or my last trailer analysis, that these 3 dark sides are way smaller than the ones we see at the beginning of the trailer, or, where is it? Here. This dark side is about a full-size, like, skyscraper. And the ones at the beginning, or right here, are not even the size of, like, a big building. So it makes it seem like they merge, or something happens to these. These are 2 completely different scenes, though. This is in dark, unless that one's during the day. More Scala language, probably just billboards. Blue Berserk over there. And it looks like an energy drink over there. But we get to see Sigurd and Strelitzia fighting the Heartless. So let me slow it down right here, because there is something I want to point out. Right here, we get to see the Heartless jump and try to surprise Sora. Sora's having none of it. Hits it in one hit and kills it. And then we get to see guards. So again, this is heavily this was heavily influenced by Final Fantasy Versus 13. These guards are in that. They kind of have the same logo and everything. There is a logo on their shields that kind of reminds me of Luxord's emblem that he has around him. But then we get to see these bird-like Heartless with the 2 humanoid Heartless. I'm guessing they're shadows, but I don't want to say that and be wrong. But this one, we get to see we get to see either, it looks like Strelitzia's Keyblade right here is like either appearing or disappearing. It's really fast. It's really quick. You probably missed it the first time, because I did. Then we get to see Sigurd it looks like he actually has like panic on his like in his on his face. Either that or like, oh no, like, you know. Then we get to see his Keyblade. We kind of get to see a better look at it. Not an HD, like not a still shot of it, but it is cool to see that they got the steampunk, and it looks like a gear with the sun in his hands. Looks like. Then we get to see him face the 3 dark sides alone. And the dark sides are having none of it and decides to go punch him. And then we get to see a blue flash of light. Sora is confused. And then he sees the boy, the main man, Riku. So, some people didn't know this was Riku at first until they looked at the giant key. Everybody knows that giant key. But he is in a different outfit than his Kingdom Hearts 3 outfit, which is really cool to see. So it looks like... I'm trying to get a better... On his jacket... Looks like there's a crown, Mickey... heartless. It looks like one of those patterns I'll put up now that he had, like that's big Kingdom Hearts thing. So it looks like he's short sleeve. His hair does look a little longer than it did before, and then he has a nice trim at the bottom. Overall, this is just so nice. This trailer was so amazing. If you think there is something I missed or you want to comment on that I didn't, like if I missed it or if there's new information that you think you saw, please let me know in the comments. This was just a off the whim analysis, so I will still, like, if I find new stuff, I will still make another video on it. If I find out what some of these text read, I will definitely let you know in another video. And who knows, maybe we'll see more in this year. This is still a big year for Kingdom Hearts. This is the starting of the marketing process, so we shall see. And there is we don't know if it's actually Kairi at the end of this trailer, but my guess is it is Kairi, and she says, "Wake up, Sora, and see." So it is really nice to see that Sora, or that Kairi, that we get to hear Kairi's voice talking to Sora. But I am quite sad that we didn't get to see her last night. It kind of pulled that, you know, but it is still nice to see this trailer. It is still beautiful. It is still amazing. I can't wait to see more of this trailer. But yes, if there is anything I missed, please let me know in the comments below. And I hope you guys are having a great day. And I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.